Point Claire, Lac St. Louis. I have personal experience with my mother-in-law who's had 3 strokes. We care for her at home. My wife is a nurse and does a great job with her, but we have great support from the CLSC. They give us 8 hours a week. We'd like more, but they're strapped with how much of a budget they have to deal with, but they're very, very helpful. It gives my wife a chance to get out and do other things to run our house. But you have to get people to get involved with their CLSC, contact them, get a social worker, get a file opened on your relative who needs the care. Once that's done, they're really very good. They come, they'll inspect your house. If they can put brackets on the wall to help her, special devices for the bath, all kinds of things. You know, I have to say it's a really good system, and I didn't know it was that good till I got involved with it. So,
all right, well, that's good. All right, great.
We could do it more, but you know, within the context of their budget, it's not bad.
All right, thank you so much for the call. 790-991, Star Talk, 1-800-491-CJAD. Brenda calling us also from Point Claire. Good morning, you're on CJAD.
Good morning, Tommy. I, too, have nothing but praise for Lac St. Louis. My dad has Alzheimer's. He moved in with us 7 years ago.
Right.
We have got services for his bath. Social workers come in and assess him, see what he needs. He's able to go once a week to a day center, which gives me 5 hours of respite and break for me.
Right.
Now that he's gone blind, I'm on a program where they're going to come and adapt the house with bars, change the outside walking to make it safer for him. The only concern I wish the government would get in on is the nursing. When my father has been really ill and had to have Paxors and IVs, I had to do a lot of learning. And they just don't have the resources to have the nurses come as often as they needed to. The government needs to work with the CLSCs with that. But otherwise, I'm so blessed to be living in this area.
And you're doing a lot of, many women do a lot of this caregiving for relatives.
Yes.
And it must take an incredible amount of your time.
It absolutely does, and we have 6 children at home still, so it's, you know what, Grandpa just is part of the family, and we just work it out.
Well, you know what you do, I don't know if you get enough, appreciation for what you do, but you're certainly a hero or a heroine for everything you're doing. Raising a family of 6 and taking care of a parent with Alzheimer's. That's magnificent achievement.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very, very much. Thanks a lot. We forget what a lot of people do to help the relatives. 790-991. It's usually women who are in that role, that caregiving role. Coming up, children with special needs. What is the province doing? Is the province going to improve the lot of children with special needs in the education system, in the school system? I don't think so. They're coming up with a plan that I think is bad news for children with special needs. If you are a parent of such a child, I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear your comments about what they are planning, how you feel about them. That's coming up. You're listening to the Tommy Schburmacher Show on CJAD. We're here from Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning till 12 noon. Stay with us.
CJAD 800 is Montreal's News Talk Leader. From the city's most respected newsroom, CJAD News starts now. Good morning, it's 11 o'clock. I'm Jason Mayoff. CJAD 800, traffic and weather together. Here's Orla Johannes.
Sources north and southbound between the 40 and the 20, roadworks causing short delays.
CJAD 800 weather clearing this afternoon, the high near 12. The temperature downtown is 7 degrees. CJAD 800 News brought to you by Dennis Bowden, investment advisor with Berkshire Securities. And the News Quebec's Transport Minister has found a couple of $100 million, $269 million to be exact, just sitting around in federal coffers. It's been lying there for years. CJAD's National Assembly Bureau Chief Christy Rich reports.
Jean Lapierre says he found the money lying unused in infrastructure funds, some of it sitting there for as long as 4 years. But he says that means this isn't a deal that will go down the tubes should the government fall.
This money was all voted by previous parliaments. So it's not in jeopardy at all.
Lapierre says that won't be the case for a deal to give over some of the gas tax, which he expects could come as soon as next week. But he scoffs at the idea this seems like an election campaign announcement.
I hope we're far away from an election. I see it as politicians getting together, wanting things to happen.
It's clear the deal came partly because of Quebec's new moderated stance on the fiscal imbalance. Lapierre says negotiations have accelerated since the appointment of new Finance Minister Michel Audet. Christy Rich, CJAD 800 News, Quebec City.
And there's even more money coming today. Le Duval says the Martin government has $600 million in infrastructure projects to announce today for Quebec. Two polls indicate the Conservative lead in popular support was short-lived. One survey by GPC Research was conducted after the Prime Minister addressed Canadians last week. And while the Liberal NDP budget deal was being hammered out, it puts Liberal support at 27% and Conservative support at 25%. The second poll by the Strategic Council had much the same results. CJAD 800 News Time is 11:02. Being fat is bad for your brain. New research suggests being fat in your 40s may increase the risk of developing dementia later in life. A long-running study in California shows the fatter you are, the greater the risk. Study leader Dr. Rachel Whitmer.
People who were obese in middle age, and that's defined by a body mass index of 30 or greater, were 75% more likely to get dementia in late life. People who are overweight were 35% more likely, and this is all versus people of a normal weight.
Studies published this week in the British Medical Journal. Well, it wasn't buried treasure in the backyard after all. Authorities in Massachusetts have arrested two men who claim they found old banknotes and bills after digging around in the backyard. Instead, investigators believe they stole the money from a job site where they were doing some roofing work. Recapping our lead story, Quebec's Transport Minister has found a couple of $100 million just sitting around in federal coffers. Still to come, more of the Tommy Schburmacher Show, sports and CJAD 800, traffic and weather together. But first from the CJAD 800 business desk, here's Lisa Gillette.
Good morning. After a positive start, markets turned mixed, and now they're rolling back up towards the upside with the Dow Jones currently up by about 18 points at 10,088. The Nasdaq Composite down by 9 at 1895, and the TSX up by about 29 points right now at 9304. We did get some economic results, statistical results on the U.S. consumer confidence that was a little bit lower than expectations. The Canadian dollar weaker by 11/100 at 79.69. S&P futures are currently negative by just 0.6. NASDAQ futures negative by 12 at this hour, so a little bit deteriorated in the last hour of trading. With much of the talk being around slowing economic growth yesterday, everyone's attention is turned to Microsoft. They reported their earnings last night after the close. The company reported earnings of 32 cents a share. That is in line with estimates. However, revenues were $9.62 billion for the quarter, which was under expectations of $9.82. Now, despite this revenue miss, the analyst community today is generally pleased with the optimistic guidance that Microsoft has given for the full year and 2006. The company has been notorious for issuing conservative guidance. Microsoft shares are up 37 cents each right now. This is Lisa Gillette at RBC Dominion Securities.
Chuck Phillips with Dennis Bowden of Berkshire Securities, Saint Laurent. Dennis, our RSP season is over now. It's time to think about tax savings.
RSP season is over, Chuck, but tax savings season is not. That's always 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Make sure that we want to get all our listeners out there to stop writing checks to the government at the end of April every year and help reduce the quarterly tax installments that everybody seems to have to make. So how do we do it? Let's maximize the RSPs where possible, borrow to invest where interest is tax deductible, earn capital gains and dividends, both more tax efficient than interest, and use flow-through shares, especially for high-income seniors, to reduce taxable income and avoid old age security clawbacks. Very, very important in building your portfolio. So if we can do that, we will help you put money in your pocket, take it out of the government's pocket.
To reach Dennis Bowden of Berkshire Securities, Saint Laurent, call 798-0470. Berkshire Securities, a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund, sponsored in part by Talvest Fund Management.
And just before we get to sports, word that Walmart is closing its store in Jonquière a week early, but the employees will keep being paid until May 6th when they were supposed to close. Walmart announced it was closing the store after the workers there unionized. CJAD 800 Sports. Montreal Impact kicks off defense of their league title tonight in Puerto Rico. Patrick Carpentier fails to make the top 10 in qualifying for the Japan Indy. Carpentier finished 14th. Team Canada opens World Hockey Championships tomorrow morning against Latvia. And Montreal area high school football players compete tonight at Concordia in the Alouettes Classic All-Star Game. CJAD CJAD 800 news time is 11:06. Traffic and weather together from the CJAD Lakekeeper All-Day Traffic Center, Orla Johannes.
40 eastbound, that's slow moving to Carry through to Stinson, and 40 west is heavy Laurentian merge over to Carry. 20 east and westbound moving at a steady pace, as is Carry north and southbound, and the bridge is working well to and from the South Shore. CJAD 800 updates traffic again in less than 10.
CJAD 800 weather, brought to you by Le Petit Munich, your little corner of Bavaria in Montreal. Traditional German cooking, plus a German delicatessen and bakery. Corner St. John and Pierrefonds Boulevard in Pierrefonds.
With the weekend forecast, here's CJAD meteorologist Ed Cowell.
We'll have some very nice sunshine breaking through, and it'll be with us throughout the afternoon. It looks like things will dry out quite nicely, especially with west winds in the 20 to 40 range. It'll be a little cooler than normal, though, with a high of near 12 degrees. Under a clear sky tonight, we'll slip to a low of near 3, and then tomorrow, after some brief morning sunshine, clouds will be on the increase, followed by rain developing in the afternoon, winds increasing to 30 out of the southeast later in the day, and a high of near 15. Look for showers again on Sunday and a high near 12. Ed Cowell from the CJAD Weather Center.
The temperature downtown is 7 degrees. I'm Jason Mayoff. This is Montreal's News Talk Leader, CJAD 800. CJAD News time is 11:07.
We want to talk to you.
Get on the phone. Let's go.
Right now.
Come on, do it.
You've got something to say. Now's the time.
This is the Tommy Schburmacher Show.
Call this number.
790-0991. Toll free. 1-800-491-CJAD. Or for a free call on Bell Mobility, punch Star Talk.
Pick up a phone.
Hello. Here's Tommy.
We're talking about children with special needs and what the government is going to do about it. And one of the things they're considering, and I think this would be a big mistake, they're only planning to make funding available for students who have the most severe behavioral problems. They're trying to cut down on the number of codes that guarantee extra funding for students. So they want to get rid of the coding system completely, except for students who have severe behavioral problems or mental or physical handicaps. If they are not severe, no coding and no money. A great piece about this by the Gazette's education reporter Allison Lampert in today's Gazette. 790-991, Star Talk 1-800-491-CJAD. As a parent of a child with special needs, do you feel that this will make sense? The teachers are very upset about it. They're saying what this means is less money for students with special needs. When they are coded, they're identified as having a specific problem, and there's a specific amount of money allocated for that. If there's no code, then basically the government can pretend there's no problem, that these kids don't exist and they don't need extra help and they don't have to spend extra money. That's the way they found to give less money to the schools, by cutting down on this coding system. 790-991, Star Talk 1-800-491-CJAD. Now, the Auditor General has investigated whether the money the government gives schools for students who are handicapped or have learning disabilities, is it actually being spent on the students? Because there is money, $1 billion a year, provided so schools can give these kids the extra services and the extra support that they need. The big question is, are the kids getting the money? And the answer is no. That's my answer. I think the answer is no. And the teachers in this province agree with me, because if the children with special needs were getting the services they need, why would parents of kids with dyslexia, for instance, feel the need to try to launch a class action suit against the government and several school boards? Teachers, if everything was fine, teachers wouldn't feel the need to make services for kids with learning disabilities a central part of their contract negotiations. This is a government that spends $9 billion on education, $1 billion of which is supposed to go for programs and specialists to help children with learning disabilities. But it is too easy to divert the funds, and I would like to know who's checking to make sure the money goes where it is supposed to. If you are a parent of a child with special needs, did you ever get an answer from the school when you asked for additional help? Did they ever tell you, I'm sorry, there's not enough money for it? Were you ever faced with that kind of answer? I think in many cases, parents of kids with special needs really could only turn to other parents in the same situation for help. 790-991 Star Talk 1-800-491-CJAD. You're listening to the Tommy Schburmacher Show on CJAD.
Tommy returns in a moment. Now, the latest from the CJAD Lake Erie All-Day Traffic Center.
20 eastbound, moving well to the Turcotte Yards. 40 eastbound, though, that's stop and go. DeCarry through to Stinson. 40 west, our usual delays. Laurentian merge into DeCarry. DeCarry north and southbound is working well, as is 720 east and westbound. See the world with Senior Tours Canada. Now booking spring, summer and fall cruises and tours to Canada, the Orient, Australia, India and South Africa. Click on seniortours.ca or call 344-4500. CJAD 800 updates traffic again in less than 10. I'm Orla Johannes at the CJAD Lake Erie All-Day Traffic Center.
You're listening to Tommy Schburmacher on Montreal's News Talk Leader, CJAD 800. Andrew Carter starts your day right.
Come on, Billy. Time to get up and take on the world.
Who are you?
I'm Andrew Carter, host of the CJAD Morning Show.
Mom!
The CJAD Morning Show with Andrew Carter, 5:30 to 9 on Montreal's News Talk Leader, CJAD 800.
Martha at the Bay. It's our exciting semi-annual Liz Claiborne event. Have you seen Liz Claiborne lately? For less than you thought. We'll give you $25 off every $100 you spend on regular price Liz Claiborne spring fashions. Plus, you'll also get another $15 coupon, good from June 17th through July 2nd, when you purchase $75 or more in all Liz Claiborne. See you now, see you then. More than you came for at the Bay.
I'll start with you. I'll start with you.
It's been a long, hard winter, so start the spring off right and refresh your car. Come into Canadian Tire right now for an oil change, tire rotation, visual inspection, and selected fluid top-up for just $29.95. And get a bonus air compressor. The only thing inflated about this deal will come from the compressor. See store for details and other great deals from our auto service centers. Only at Canadian Tire.
I'll start with you.
This spring, you can have it all in big and tall at the M.H. Grover & Sons Spring Sale. All suits $150 off, up to size 70. The biggest selection of sports jackets to size 70. All $75 off. Bermudas to size 72. That's bigger than Bermuda. The Spring Sale on now at M.H. Grover & Sons, 4741 Wellington, corner 3rd Avenue in Verdun, groversbigandtall.com. At M.H. Grover & Sons, they've never met a man they could not handle.
Hey, Mike, you still going to Kel's Academy?
Sure am.
You like it?
I wouldn't go anyplace else but Kel's. The classes are small, the teachers are great, and the best part is my marks have improved a lot. Come see for yourself at our open house on Saturday. You and your parents can tour the school and talk to the teachers and students.
Okay, sounds like fun.
See you there.
Come to Kel's Academy Open House, Saturday, April 30th, 9:30 to 11 a.m., 6865 de Maisonneuve Boulevard West. Contact us at 514-485-8565. Discover our unique program.
Hey, lunch?
Sure. Where?
Tim Hortons. I like that new toasted chicken club.
Whoa, right there.
Well.
Great sandwich, but Gary.
Yeah?
We're accountants.
Uh-huh.
We must practice due diligence, carefully consider all lunch options.
Oh, right. Let's think.
Oh, come on, chicken, bacon.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Nothing tops Tim Hortons' new Toasted Chicken Club. Seasoned chicken, crisp bacon, and honey mustard on a toasted country bun. Try it in a combo, just $5.95 plus tax. At participating stores for a limited time.
Have you visited bromartino.ca recently? Click to discover our most recent product offering. This month on bromartino.ca, You're sure to love our new info guides that will provide you with a host of useful information on barbecues, air conditioners, sheets, and patio sets. Take advantage of your visit to bromartino.ca to enter our contest. To be won, a Broil King 50,000 BTU barbecue and a Rene Corriveau 7-piece patio set, a prize value of $1,500. bromartino.ca, a simple click away from home. See site for rules and details.
Keep your office up to date. Get your office radio locked on Tommy Schburmacher. More in 60 seconds.
The Research Center is looking for candidates to take part in a clinical trial for athlete's foot. Men and women suffering from athlete's foot are needed for participation in a drug research study. You must be 18 years or older and not pregnant or nursing to take part in this study. Pregnant or nursing mothers are not eligible. Eligible patients will be compensated for their time. For more information on this athlete's foot study, please call 514-342-9403. That's 342-9403.
Approximately 3 million Canadians suffer from asthma. Find out more with the Asthma Society of Canada and Christina Chernesky on The Health Show, Sunday afternoon at 2 on Montreal's News Talk Leader, CJAD 800.
You're listening to Tommy Schburmacher. Call us 790-0991. Toll free 1-800-491-CJAD. Or for a free call on Bell Mobility, punch Star Talk.
CJAD time, 11:17. CJAD temperature, 7 degrees. We're talking about children with special needs. There'll be less funding for children with special needs. The $1 billion support system isn't working. I think part of the reason it isn't working, I don't think the money is getting through to the children with special needs. When we've done this topic in the past, parents have told me that the response is, sorry, we can't get the specialist, we can't get the diagnosis, we just don't have enough money. 790-991 Star Talk, 1-800-491-CJAD. And I can tell you that the parents of children with special needs themselves, the situation they find themselves in, they have a lot of challenges. They're often pushed to the limits of their energy, of their physical energy, their financial capacity, their emotional resources. There's feelings of loss, anger, guilt, frustration, and often at sometimes wonder and joy. But it is an uphill battle for parents with children of learning disabilities, and I don't think that the government is doing what it should and what it could in order to help. 790-0991 Star Talk, 1-800-491-CJAD. Basically, the money's there. They're diverting some of the funds. I remember when the largest French board in the city diverted money slated to help poor students do better in school. Instead of spending it on the kids, they used 40% of the grant, a $7 million grant, to maintain teaching positions. It takes a long time to get kids diagnosed. The diagnoses are often not correct. And the learning plans developed responded more to what the school needs than what the student needed. 790-991, the number to call. Debbie, good morning. You're on CJAD.
Hi.
Yes, go ahead.
Boy, I couldn't have said it better. I happen to have children, adult children who had learning disabilities and a grandchild with learning disabilities, and this has been a 25-year struggle.
Right, and do you get the help that you require? Did you get the help that you required?
No. The first learning plan for my grandson said we want to encourage him to learn. That was all it said. That was all it said. And
that was on a piece of paper?
On a piece of paper.
One sentence.
One sentence.
We want to encourage him to learn.
That's it. That was his learning plan.
That's unbelievul.
Yeah. Yeah,
you don't happen to have a copy of that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Well, I'd appreciate if you sent it in to the station, because I'd love to see it, because that is unbelievable. I mean, that indicates how badly it's being done, how they don't take it seriously, and they don't give these children the respect they deserve.
And part of it is because they just don't have the services to give. They don't have the people. And this is a really big worry. You take the coding away from these children, then teachers are, burnout's going to increase. It's impossible. This is ridiculous. It's bad enough that they have many, many different coded children in a classroom, and they don't have the resources. What they're fighting for is genuine.
All right, I thank you.
They don't have any support. But there's also one other thing.
Yes?
There's a paper that recently went home all over Quebec asking parents to give their level of education. Now, the explanation that went along with this is that the government is going to use this to give better services to the school. Now, this could be a good thing. It can be a terrible thing because from studies, they feel that the education of the mother, the higher it is, the more success a child will have in school. And we know that that's absolutely wrong. You know, children with learning disabilities come from all walks, all level of education.
All right, I thank you very much for the call. 790-991-STAR-TALK, 1-800-491-CJAD. Can you believe that? A learning plan saying, well, they should be encouraged to learn. We're going to encourage him to learn. That's the entire essence of the plan. As a parent of children with learning disabilities, children with dyslexia, I mean, parents of kids with dyslexia had to launch a class action lawsuit against the government and several school boards. It took way too long to get the kids diagnosed. The diagnoses were not always correct. Is the money being spent on where it should be? It isn't. All of that is in the past. What's going to make the problem much, much worse is they are thinking of cutting down the coding and restricting it only to the most severe problems. The most severe mental problems or physical handicaps. If it's not that severe, no coding, which means no extra funding. So the bad situation that is there now will get worse. 790-991-STAR-TALK, 1-800-491-CJAD. You're listening to the Tommy Schburmacher Show on CJAD.
Tommy returns in a moment. Now, the latest from the CJAD Lake Erie All-Day Traffic Center.
On the 40 eastbound, a very slow drive to carry through to Stinson. And on the 40 westbound, our usual delays, Laurentian merge over to DeCarry. Now, on the West Island, we've got lots of road work going on these days. Sources north and southbound between the 40 and the 20. You're finding slowdowns there due to road work. St. John's entrance onto the 40 east is closed. That's for the next 3 weeks. And St. Charles entrance onto the 40 westbound. That's closed till the end of May. Berkshire Securities Dorval to preserve wealth, create wealth and minimize taxes. Call Nader Hamid of Berkshire Securities Dorval, 421-7090. CJAD 800 updates traffic again in less than 10. I'm Orla Johannes at the CJAD Lakekeeper All-Day Traffic Center.
You're listening to Tommy Schburmacher on Montreal's News Talk Leader, CJAD 800.
This weekend at Encon Direct, Ash Gregoire, Lisa Christensen broadcasts live. Join Lisa Saturday morning 10 to 1 and Sunday 9 till noon at Encon Direct, Ash Gregoire, 2470 Curé Labelle, Laval.
Is your old lawnmower and gas trimmer ready to retire?
That's it. It's with a slice, but I can't cut it no more.
Many pollute as much as 40 vehicles. April 28th through May 8th, take the 1-ton challenge. Bring your old gas mower or gas trimmer to any Home Depot for recycling and receive instant rebates on selected new electric, push reel, or lower emission models. Be garden smart with savings on water and energy efficient products, natural fertilizers, trees, and more. So retire that old mower or trimmer.
So, we're gonna go watch.
And take the 1-ton challenge. Visit mowdownpollution.ca.
Keep your office up to date. Get your office radio locked on Tommy Schburmacher. More in 60 seconds.
Ruben Picarve has been practicing ethical hypnotherapy for more than 40 years. Listen to what he has to say.
Insomnia caused by stress and anxiety is a common complaint. If you are having trouble getting to sleep and staying asleep, hypnotherapy can help. Visit my website at picarve.com or call me at 736-4444. It could change your life forever.
That's PECARVE.com or phone 736-4444. Call the Picarve Clinic today.
This is Marty. Obviously, I'm not here. I'll leave a message. It's Amy. At the tone, talking the phone.
When a kid really needs to talk to someone,
Kids Help Phone.
make sure we're there to answer. On Sunday, May 1st, join the Bell Walk for Kids Help Phone to help troubled and abused kids.
The Tommy Schburmacher Show continues. The numbers to call, 790-0991. Star Talk, a free call on Bell Mobility at 800-491-CJAD. Now your host, Tommy Schburmacher, on Montreal's News Talk Leader, CJAD 800.
CJAD time, 11:25. CJAD temperature, 7 degrees. The Tommy Schburmacher Show on CJAD. We're here Monday to Friday, 9 to noon, talking about less funding for children with special needs. As a parent of a child with special needs, how do you feel about that? They might cut down on coding only for the most severe cases. Will they continue coding? So that way the government can say these kids who have these problems don't exist, and they don't need any help, and they don't need any money, even though the money that's going there already isn't being properly used. 790-991 Star Talk, 1-800-491-CJAD. Sarah calling us from Saint Laurent. Good morning. You're on CJAD.
Good morning. I just would like to bring one point, not only related to the special needs kids, but also to the inner city children. If you live in Montreal, the schools in Montreal are facing too many problems with many kids in the classes who are not even coded, and they have some kind of hidden disabilities that the teachers have to deal with them every day. These kids also are not getting any support. So imagine the situation when you have special ed kids in the class with children that they were not identified, and teachers have to face that every day. That's also beside what teachers have to do every day. They have to implement the reform. The reform is asking teachers to meet every child's need at his level, and at the same time complete certain curriculum at the end of the school year. So the teachers are facing, let's say, a child with
7 CJAD temperature, 7 degrees. We have Mike calling us from the South Shore. Good morning. You're on CJAD.
Hi, Tommy.
Yes, go ahead.
I have a son who's 6 years old, and he's very well behaved at home, and for some reason or another, he is just not very well behaved at all at school. And, we've been begging for help, begging for some sort of a support system or whatever to help with this. And, their basic solution is, suspend them for the day, so you got to take a day off. If I behave bad enough, my punishment is not to have to go to school. Now, we've paid $330 to take him to a private ergotherapy clinic to study. He has trouble holding his pencil, so his writing is bad, and that adds to his frustration. They send you here. They tell you it's all up to you. We don't have insurance. We're not a rich family, and to go out and spend like $330, that was just to have them evaluated. And of course, they've evaluated them now, and they say, well, it'll be $75 an hour once a week to have them come in and help them learn how to write and whatever have you. I mean,
and there's no help available for you.
No, not at all. You go to the school, they refer you to the school board, you go to the school board, and they all look at you cross-eyed. I mean, at the end of the year last year, parents were going out to buy paper towels to be able to have soap and paper towels in the bathroom, let alone having special help for special needs students.
Right, and I thank you very much for the call. And it's sad that the situation is going to get